Howdy. So it is only the 9th of May, but I'm already planning for a readathon next month. So I thought I'm just going to start the vlog now while I'm making my TBR because I need to make it like a list and I'm going to like figure it out. Whateverthon. Or just Whateverthon, which is like whatever you want-a-thon. There are teams, there are points, there's a bingo board. I'm going to join the TBR Travelers. And I've selected 8 books so far. And I think I might just have to leave it at that. But I need to check if I have a bingo at least. Because it's like you can get multiple bingos. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get bingo. So, one book can count for up to 3 prompts. So let me talk you through it. Okay, so first we've got Hamlet on here. This is my one-word title. Also, I've been wanting to read this forever. It's like historical fiction about like Shakespeare's wife, and she is a witch. That counts for Juan. But, and then also, girl, a River Enchanted. It's beautiful, it's big, it's floppy, and this is going to be for recently hauled. This literally came today on the 9th, and it's a book club pick for next month. Throne of Glass for the reread of the series, which is also for the book club, and also counting as my favourite genre, which is fantasy. But more specifically, Sarah J. Maas books are my favourite genre. I'm also going to include another prompt off the back end of this. So there's one where it's like, your next book has to start with the last letter of whatever you just read. So I'm going to go with the S for Throne of Glass and read Second First Impressions, which is by Sally Thorne, who is a Canberran, which is really freaking amazing because that like never happens. Like a famous author is from Canberra. No one even knows Canberra. And also this doubles as a 2021 release. So, yeah, and also I really love the Hidden Game, so I really hope I'm going to like this too. Pages & Co., which was also recently hauled, but that's fine. But we're going to count this as a middle grade and also as contains the letters G, P, or S. Or in my case, all 3. We got G, P, S. We got all of them. So I'm not really a massive middle grade reader, but this sounds good and fun. It's similar vibes to Inkheart, but hopefully I'm going to like this more. And I have pictures. The Atlas 6, which I've been wanting to read for months and have not. So you know what? It's also going to count as a TBR vet, because even though I have things that have been on my shelf longest, I've been needing to pick this up since November. So, shit. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. And she's the writer of Little Fires Everywhere, which I really loved. And I've heard this one's really good. And it's short, which is good for a readathon, but also good for the prompt, which is to read a book under 300 pages, which is very hard to find. I got lots of chunkies. Or ones that I'm like, well, give me like a 320, a 350. And I'm like, how about no? A Darker Shade of Magic, which I've been meaning to read for the longest time. And I really like V. Schwab's books. At least most of them that I've read. So this is going to count as a portal fantasy and also as a book that's been on a previous TBR. It's probably been at least like 2 or 3 TBRs and I still haven't gotten to it. Partially because I'm scared I'm not going to like it, and partially because I'm scared that I'm going to read it and then only going to want to read this series and then I'm not going to be able to read anything else. I have to get someone to give me a colour, like randomly generate a colour. I might get a friend to give me a colour. And then based on those, I'll pick like 3 books with that colour and make that my poll. Because poll is another square to fill. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna put up some pictures right now so that I don't sound completely crazy. So this is the bingo board we're looking at right now. And I just noticed there's a free spot as well. So I guess if I just mood read, or I'm just not vibing something, I'll do that. Hello! Hey.
Actually did.
Oh my god. No, that's okay. So, I'm doing a readathon. So, I was just calling quickly because I need your help. I need you to give me a colour.
A colour purple.
Purple. Alright, cool. So, the plan now that I have purple, is that I'm going to pick a bunch of books with a purple cover and then do a poll. Morning. It is June today. It is like not even 7 a.m. and it's cold and I'm tired, but it's readathon day. So where are we at with my TBR? So it's pretty much the same, but the poll's over, and which is a St. Petersburg one. So that's exciting. I don't have much time this morning, but I really want to start A Darker Shade of Magic as my first book. I'm really excited to read this. This has probably been most anticipated for a long time, and it's not the chunkiest, so I hope I can just be like, my biggest obstacle is definitely going to be this bad boy right here, because it's still new, and Animal Crossing has me by the balls. First sentence, and I already have thoughts. Kel wore a very peculiar coat. All I could think of was Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. That was white and yellow and blue and red and whatever. Yes, but also confusion. There are like pretty short chapters, so I find that's helping a lot. As well as like, you know, we're already on part 4 and I'm only up to page 82. The writing so far is really beautiful, and just the imagery, and I'm really excited to see where exactly this story takes me. So it is the 4th of June and I finished A Darker Shade of Magic last night. I stayed up till 2 a.m. to do that. I kept nodding off and it was a fight to stay awake and finish it because I was just that tired. But I finished it. I ended up giving it 3 stars because I liked the concept. I thought it was cool. But just the execution wasn't it for me because it just wrapped up really quickly. The ending was a bit meh, like it didn't feel like there was a next book. And I'm like, the world is cool, but I'm like, I just wanted to care more about the characters. So, Lila being like, I enjoy killing people. I'm like, and it wasn't like in like the hero kind of way. It was kind of like, you're a psychopath. I'm kind of scared for you. And then like I'm going to say Rai, that's his name, like the prince. We see him and like, I'm not invested in him or the brother bond between Kel and Rai because he's just like a playboy and being like, haha, naked ladies. And I'm like, it's not charming, it's not good. We don't actually see much brother time. It's kind of a bit of like a toxic dynamic. So I'm like, I'm not here when Kel's like, that's my bro, I'd die for him. Like, it's not very likable characters, cool like world hopping. There were times where I just kind of like would read something and be like, I'd have to reread it. So like, I don't know, if like the world building could have been done a bit better. This needed to be a longer book, and it just wrapped up really quickly. It was like, oh yes, this is our big problem, and it's like, it's fixed. So I don't really like that. But I will eventually read the series, but a little disappointed because I absolutely loved Vicious and Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and then this one came around and I was like, yeah. Since then, I've started A River Enchanted, as you would have seen. I'm still like on chapter 1, but the writing's a bit whimsical and it seems like it's going to be kind of like magical realism, which is like a different kind of fantasy that I'm excited for. And I'm going to go get a haircut, so let this be the before. I think I just want to get this recut shorter to be like, ooh, what a vibe. And I keep wanting to just chop off my hair again, but I think I'm going to let it grow for now. So your layers and fringy bits, because they're too long now. But I guess it's not bad, but like I just want a bit different, a bit something else, you know. So yeah, I'll see you with different hair and hopefully having read a bit more at the hairdressers in the chair. I'm back, y'all. This is the hair. I cannot blow dry my hair well to save my life, but I'm really liking it. I did kind of originally think I wanted like shorter layers, but the thing is I like that my fringy bits are separate, because too often before with the too much framing, they would just blend into the rest, and this is going to make it easier to tie up my hair, but just have a bit of this hanging out. So yeah, I also did a bunch of shopping and I spent too much money, and I did not read at the hairdresser because I was talking. Who's surprised? Not me. So I came back from the cafe bookshop with books, but I'm supporting small businesses. See, Kiki agrees with me. So I thought I'd just tell you quickly what I got. So I got Weather Girl, which just sounds like a really cute rom-com, and it almost sounds a bit like Parent Trap, but instead of matchmaking their parents back together, they're trying to matchmake their divorced bosses. And then one I just hadn't even heard of, but I saw was this one called No Hard Feelings, which just spoke to my soul, because it's basically just about being in your 20s and like just feeling like you're not enjoying your 20s as much as you're supposed to, and like just quarter life crisis, let's be honest, quarter life crisis, and just struggling with money and relationship and all, but it's meant to be really funny as well. So this might get bumped up soon. Oh my god, you guys. So, I have scissors, and that is because I have a package. There is a story behind this package. I ordered this, I want to say back in November. I'm going to like check and I'll like put it here. And what it is like a collection of like lyrics from Stephen Sondheim, who is dead. He died on my birthday, and he's like one of my idols. And I went and ordered these because it's like lyrics, but with like anecdotes and just like fun behind the scenes and like cuteness. And it's been out of stock for forever, and they kept sending me emails being like, still out of stock, like, do you want us to cancel it? And I was like, no, I'll wait. I will wait. I can wait as long as I have to. And the last email, which is why I'm like, but I have to cancel your order because we just don't know if it's ever going to be in stock, babe. But it's here. It is a ginormous ravioli, and I'm going to open it. Okay. Please cut my itty bitty smiggle scissors. Seriously. We're in. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my god. It's in a gold case. So we have... Oh, it's only 2. I thought there was 3. But that's still good. So we have Finishing the Hat and Look, I Made a Hat, which are both lyrics from Sunday in the Park with George. And Finishing the Hat is a beautiful song. So I feel like Sunday in the Park with George is a musical when you first, like, watch it or hear it, you're like, okay, huh? But then, like, the more you, like, mature and grow, so does the musical. And so finishing the hat is, alright, quick version. George is an artist, and he puts his art before anyone else in his life, and it becomes an obsession. And so he sings this song called Finishing the Hat, and it's about how even when you have other people and things pulling you in your life, you have to finish the hat, and how that's like a blessing and a curse. And it's just beautiful. And it's a hardback and heavy, and I need to open them right now. Oh, there he is. It's Steve. Just like a classic, but it's also got like his signature embossed, so that's pretty cool. And that's the spine. Oh, my theatre kid heart is so happy. Look, it's photocopies of his notes. I can't. Company! Bobby, 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 baby, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. Robert, darling. Phone rings, door chimes, in comes company. Amazing. Beautiful. Content dictates bomb. Bitch, you're right. I don't know where to put this, but it needs a place of honor. It is the 11th, and I finished A River Enchanted last night. It was very late. I had such a good time reading this book. It was a good just balance of like kind of flowery writing, cool world building, and just like some really good character and relationship work. So I just thought it was beautiful. I thought it was fun. It was adventurous. The only thing is that like the romance was very kind of like slow burn and kind of like gentle. So like even when we did get to have sex, it was very, like it was basically YA. I really want to see where it goes in the next book. And some of the things that happened, like so frustrating, but like, it's good when you have that visceral reaction where you're like, no, don't do that. I'm like, oh my God, ah. And it was the kind of thing where a lot of the twists weren't like completely crazy, but it was good because they made sense. I've started my next book, which is The ABC Murders by Agatha Christie, which I was actually like 2 chapters in previously, but like weeks ago. So I've just restarted from the beginning, and I'm hoping that tonight I can just zoom through. The writing is pretty easy to read, which is nice, even though it's, nearly 100 years old, that it's still like very readable, and it's like witty and funny. But I'm going to see if I can figure it out, because I'm pretty bad at solving mysteries like this. It's Citadel Readathon. It's the 18th. I have not updated this vlog because procrastination. I've finished 2 books since I've talked to you, which sounds impressive, but it's also been many, many days. There's still time in the month though, I have hope. So I finished ABC Murders. I didn't end up updating because I was just getting through it. I was kind of bored. I didn't feel any kind of tension or excitement. And the whodunit was pretty underwhelming because it was just kind of like some guy. So I still like the gimmick of like the alphabet, and there was like a twist that I was like, okay, that's all right. But I think just like the style of it, I'm not super keen on, but I'm still keen to try some of the Agatha Christie because it's like she is famous for a reason, I went off course and decided to read Soul of Cinder, which is the final book in the Heart of Thorns trilogy, which the first book I read a few years ago, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's about like witches, and it's real feminist and magic and whatever. And then I read book 2 from the library, and it just kind of went in weird directions, and there's just new characters and like plots that didn't really go anywhere. And then book 3, I liked it more than book 2, so that's good. I still think it's going to be like 3-star. ABC Murder is going to be 2 stars, I reckon, for sure. I enjoyed like the writing. It's like very lyrical. There were some like really good moments, but on the whole, I feel like the arc for this series and this last book was a bit all over the place because we get like lots of new characters, and it's just, and there was one that was like a reveal where it's like, dun dun dun, I'm actually blah blah blah, and I'm like, but we don't know who that is. But it's also very possible I've forgotten things because this brain cannot store much. There was just like some plot things that just happened because like it didn't really matter for like the larger plot. The romance was just kind of like shoehorned in at the end, and I was like, I'm not buying it. I was like, it's still nice, but I'm not like, yes, this is the right thing. We explore this new like magical place that does not mean anything for the overarching plot, and I'm like, why then? It's time for some Atlas 6, baby, and I'm glad I'm picking this for this weekend because I forgot this is like, it's like hefty, like it's thin, but it's like made of that thick, like really densely packaged paper, and it's good because Mel's reading it, so like I'm being a bit of a sheep, but everyone's talking about the Atlas 6, so I'm like, I want to be in on these conversations. And also I'm a bit like, oh no, because this is the indie published one, but like the Hollywood published one, the TikTok published one, apparently is not just a different cover, apparently it's a bit different plot and shit, so that's fun. I've been reading a bit more of Atlas 6, but I haven't gotten super far in. I am 116 pages in, and I'm enjoying it, but it does take a bit of brain power, partly because it is just like the classic fantasy thing of like, let's just say something and then not explain it, and my hair is doing, I don't know what it's doing. Got the Stardust Thief, which is one of the book club picks for the Citadel. It is just like fantasy with gin. And then recently these came out in paperback, so I had to buy them. I got the Guilds series by River Enchanted. The fourth one's not out yet, but I read the first one, Guild, on Kindle Unlimited on my phone, and then I started reading Glint as well, but then I cancelled Kindle Unlimited because I hate reading on my phone. And also I think I just want to like read it physically so I can annotate and then also pass it off to my friends because it's like a fun trashy fantasy. The action is picked up in Atlas 6, so that's exciting. I went and had a look at the new edition, that's like the properly published one, and the pictures in it are so much better, but I can't justify buying another copy of it, at least not now. But I'd be interested to read both just to see what differences there are. It happened. I have COVID. What? So yeah, my dad got COVID yesterday, and I found out last night in the middle of a dance class, which I just love this ongoing theme. So when I found out my mum was positive, I was halfway through teaching a class of young children. So it's just always in the middle of a class that I'm going to get bad health news. I'm going to get some reading done, and I'm going to binge some TV. It's going to happen. So yeah, I've been taking my time with Atlas 6 because I'm just bad at consistently making myself read. But page 238, it's over halfway. I like this more than most of the other Dark Academias I've read because even though it is like very intellectual, it still has enough intrigue because a lot of the time with the other Dark Academia I've read, it just doesn't have plot. I'm really enjoying the foil between Parisa and Callum because they both have powers of like manipulation, but they're very different how they see themselves and like their approach, and like that's really interesting. Hey, so it's 23rd of June. I'm homesick with COVID, and I just finished the Atlas 6, y'all. And I liked it, but I didn't love it because it was less about the Library of Alexandria and the magic and more about the dynamic between the characters, which was still interesting, but I'm like, I kind of wanted a bit more action and a bit more magic. Like, there is magic, but like a lot of things aren't explained well, but it's still a really cool concept. I'll still probably read the second one, but I think I just had this hyped so much that I was like hoping to like it more. But just, I thought it was going to be a slightly different tone. But again, this keeps happening with Dark Academia where I'm like, yeah! And then it ends up being like a literary character fiction. And I'm like, alright. Cool. I think their paws are crossed together. It's really cute. Hi, so it's the 29th of June, and my procrastination knows no bounds. I'm still reading Throne of Glass. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but I'm reading Throne of Glass. I've been reading it for how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... For 6 days. This is day 7. Because I'm just really good at procrastinating. But also I decided to annotate it on my reread just because there were some things I noticed, like some foreshadowing, and I was like, oh! So then, we've got to do the foreshadowing and then just like funny moments, cute moments, badass moments, or just like, that's a good quote. So we're doing that. Enjoying my reread. I think I'm definitely going to bump this up because I made it a 2-star last time because I was like, because I think I was hoping it was going to be a bit more descriptive about like the tests they're doing, like almost like Hunger Games, but I kind of like that that's not the focus because it shows that for Selena it's like it's not even really an event and it's not like these massive tasks. It's just like, yeah, tests. She's like, yeah, whatever. There's just some things that have made me like just snort because I know what happens later, but there's also so much that I don't remember, so I'm really keen to keep like rereading this series. These are the ones that I've read this month. And so I've still read more than I did last month. But this stack here is what I wanted to all read. I still want to get to second first impressions, but we'll see. But I'm just hoping it's going to be just like a balm, a tonic of just cute romance read. 'Tis the 30th and I'm reading second first impressions. I don't think I'm going to finish it because it's already like 5:20. I'm going to the theatre tonight. This is like easy to read, but I'm not like obsessed with it yet. Like the guy is kind of annoying. But, like I'm interested to see where this Grumpy Sunshine thing goes. And I've just gone and finished my putting in like bingo and stuff. I still need to finish off the daily pages because consistency is not my forte. But I realised I'm not going to make a bingo because I didn't read enough. Drat. But it is the Whatever You Want-a-thon, and I took it very literally, and every time I didn't want to read, I didn't. So that's okay. I think I still read more than last month. Let me chat. I read 4 books last month, and I've read 6, and I'm reading number 7. So, go team.
1 eternity later.
Alright, hi. So, readathon has been over for like over a month. I'm slack. But let me give you a little outro. Why don't we? Here they are, plus Soul of Cinder, which is back at the library where it lives. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did not read the 10 I was hoping for, but also that was like a very high goal. And I have other hobbies, so what do? I did take the time to do some stats. I read 2,535 pages, so go me. I ended up getting 2,475 points for TBR Traveller, and I completed 11 prompts with my 6 books. I also just went and had a look because there was a live show that I didn't get to watch because it was at a stupid time for me because time zones are fun. And TBR Travellers didn't win, so that's really sad. But we came 3rd. It just wasn't our year, but I do think the other team, they played really strong and we didn't have it in us tonight. A bit of an up and down reading month it was for me, June. My favourite book by far was River Enchanted. It was just beautiful. The world, the characters, the relationships, it was just so good. And the worst one was definitely ABC Murders. I just thought it was a bit meandering, and even though it kind of made sense, it didn't. So if you can remember back in your brain if you did this readathon and what team you were on, let me know how you went, or even just what are you reading right now. I will see you in a video next time. Bye!